Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Mariah and I'm a real estate agent here in the beautiful state of Oregon. And today we are going to share 3 things that if you are considering selling your home here in Oregon, you are going to want to know these 3 things before you sell your home. These are common questions that my husband and I, we're a husband and wife real estate team here in the Willamette Valley, and these are 3 common questions that we get from our home sellers. But first, before we get into it, if you are considering buying or selling real estate here in Oregon or relocating to Oregon, don't hesitate to reach out. We would absolutely love to work with you. We get calls, texts, and emails from people like you watching our YouTube videos thinking about buying or selling real estate here in our area, and we totally love it. We would love to work with you as well. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to know is about the timeline. Sellers always want to know, what should I expect as far as the timeline goes? How long should my house be on the market before I start to panic? And I know from personal experience and, obviously working with so many of our clients throughout the years that when it's your house that's on the market, when it's your house that's listed, it honestly feels like so much longer than it actually is. I don't know if any of you guys, who have sold your home before have experienced this, but I know when I've been in your shoes as a home seller myself, a week with your home on the market feels like a month with your home on the market. Time just goes by so slow. What's normal as far as how long it takes for you to get an offer, how long even it takes to get showings, how much activity you're getting as a home seller, and just overall how long the home selling process takes. That is really going to vary quite drastically, honestly, depending on the market that we're in. So at the time of filming this, homes are sitting longer for sure. I know we're seeing a lot more homes needing to have price reductions. I think partially because sellers are just starting like really unrealistically high in a lot of instances, but we're starting to see some homes have more price reductions. We're starting to see homes just days on market be up more than they were before. And I just also want to add that, so I got my real estate license in 2015 and homes were selling really fast at that time. But then fast forward to, 2017, 2018, 2019, homes were sitting. We always had a lot of listings at that time, and it was very normal as a realtor to have, all your listings on the market for 6 months, sometimes even longer, 9 months at a time, especially if you're working in those higher price points, like well above the average price point in our area. It was very normal to see that. When interest rates, were cut to historically low levels in 2020, and all the buyers ever came out of the woodwork, and home prices just shot up at a crazy rate. During that time, homes were selling so fast. Homes were selling in literally days, if not short, like a day. That was quite common to see a home getting offers, the first day on market. That was very common. So I think a lot of home sellers and even realtors who maybe got into the business during that time have really only experienced that market, and they're starting to panic when their house is on the market for 60 days, 90 days. When it's your personal residence that's on the market and it's been 60 days or 90 days, 100 days, that feels like an eternity. But that's actually quite normal. It's really nothing to panic over. My very long answer to that question is, what is normal as far as how long it takes for my house to get an offer, how long my home's sitting on the market for? It really varies based off of the housing market and what is going on. Now, I will say, I mentioned earlier, like what's going on in the housing market. I mentioned that we're starting to see more price reductions. And this is something I always want to clarify, because in the real estate industry, we see a lot of consumers looking at that, headline. We're seeing more price reductions in the housing market, and then assuming, oh, that means prices are dropping. That's not the case. There are more price reductions as in homes that are already on the market having to drop their price before they actually sell. But overall, homes are still appreciating, meaning that homes have still gone up in their value over the last year, and they're expected to still continue to appreciate and go up in value over this next upcoming year. Now, it might feel like they're not going up in value because they were going up in value at such an insane fast rate back in 2020, 2021, a little bit in 2022 when interest rates were at that historic low levels. But they're not going up nearly as fast as they were then, which thank goodness that was not a healthy housing market, but they are still going up in value. So if you're a homeowner, that's good news for you. Your home has gone up in value over the last year, and it's expected to go up in value again this next year, just not at an extreme crazy rate. Be sure to ask your listing agent when they're getting your home on the market, what's the average days on market right now? What's normal? How long should I expect my home to be on market before we start seeing offers? Once your offer is accepted, we will have our escrow period. Escrow will be opened, and that will generally be a 35 to 60 day process. My next recently asked home seller question is, what matters most to buyers / what should I prioritize when getting my home ready to sell? Now, I won't go too into this because I actually just did an entire video on this channel covering just this topic and really went more in depth on it. So head over to my channel and you can find that video that's recently uploaded about getting your home ready to list on the market and what you need to do. But just to sum it up, curb appeal. Focus on curb appeal. Focus on having your home really clean and decluttered is a lot more important than doing huge home improvement projects. Please don't over upgrade. That's a mistake we've seen sellers do before, and they actually a lot of times end up losing money. So I won't really go into that, but focus on curb appeal. Focus on just getting your home as clean as it's ever been and as decluttered as it's ever been. And last but not least, don't over upgrade. How should I approach selling when I'm also buying at the same time? This is something that a lot of home sellers reach out to us about, and they're really, nervous. They're nervous to start the process because they know they're going to be buying and selling at the same time. But I have good news. This happens all the time. A really good majority of our home buyers and home sellers at any given time are going to be both buying and selling because it's kind of part of the process. Usually if you're selling, you got to have somewhere else to live. So it's very common. A couple quick tips I will give you are just things to know ahead of time that might help calm your nerves about buying and selling at the same time. Say I'm going to sell my house right now and I have nowhere to go. If my house sells, I don't have, family's house to stay at or whatever. If my house sells and I haven't found a replacement property yet. No one wants to be homeless. No one wants to be in that bad situation. So I'm putting my house up for sale and I don't have my replacement property yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list my house. The reason why I would be doing this personally, if I was in your shoes, is because I know that it is very difficult to get an offer accepted. It's easier in this market right now because it is a little bit more in the buyer's field, okay? Buyers have a little bit more playing power, if you will, than sellers do in this current market. But it always is difficult to get an offer accepted that is contingent on the buyer's current home selling if it's not even listed yet. You gotta just get it on the market. Once it has an accepted offer, it's even more likely you'll get your contingent buyer offer accepted, if that makes sense. But say I'm theoretically gonna list my house for sale. I don't have a property yet to move into. I haven't made any offers or even really started house hunting yet. So I list my property for sale. I'm gonna say in the private remarks on the MLS, which is something we will do for you as your real estate agents, of course, I will say sale is contingent upon seller finding and closing on suitable replacement property. Buyers to be willing to work with sellers on timeline or be flexible with timeline or something like that. Just so any buyers that are looking at my home online know up front, okay, if we are not going to be able to, make an offer most likely and close in 30 days, we're going to have to work with the seller on the timeline and be flexible. And so that's just one thing to know when you're buying and selling at the same time is we can write that in the listing, and we will write that in the listing to help protect you and make sure there's no confusion with any buyers that are coming in looking at your home. We want to make sure they know what's going on up front. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. If you have any real estate related questions, or if you want to buy or sell real estate in Salem, Oregon, or absolutely anywhere in the surrounding areas, I'd love to work with you. My husband and I are a top producing husband and wife real estate team. I'll put our information in the link below. Shoot me an email today. Also, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell because we come on here consistently sharing everything you need to know about buying and selling real estate / moving to living in Salem, Oregon, and all the surrounding areas. And I'll see you guys next time.